Alex, bye.
Here.
Oh, Alan. Oh, how are you, Alan?
Here.
Umatasai.
Hi.
What's up, Booms?
Nothing much.
Will's here. Gray 6 years, but we'll say Eleanor. Hello, Eleanor. Hope you're doing well. Lance Matthews.
Yeah.
Logan Matthews.
Here.
What's up, bruh? Thanos. Greek Thunder.
Here.
And everybody, last but not least, Getty Woo.
Gary Woo. Here.
All right.
I was a beat off. My bad.
You were slightly off yet. Okay, so all right. First of all, how's everybody doing? Did you guys enjoy the little break that I gave you last night? No homework, no quiz. Was that helpful?
Wait, we had homework. Didn't we have to finish the dice game?
Nope.
I thought we were supposed to though.
You were supposed to finish the rock paper. You were supposed to just continue it. The rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So today, easy class. It's a review. So today is our first review day, and I kind of just got to get some information from you guys to find out. So, all right. So key thing. Hold on 1 second. All right. Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure of something real quick. I gotta make sure I have this. Okay, now I can delete it. All right. So first things first, okay, I want to talk about the test. All right, the test is going to be 15 multiple choice questions, but right now I may switch it to 10. Now, as you guys know, I've been usually, I do a very good job of kind of like incorporating everything that we have learned throughout the year, like into these exams, okay? However, with this one, I'm going to very, very, very much be heavy on if statements, the for loops, and the while loops, okay? I will be very heavy on those, okay? There is a possibility even that I may just have 10 multiple choice questions. So I'm not going to let you know, but I am going to give you a heads up of how it's going to be, okay? The test is going to be 45 minutes, all right? I'm going to give you that extra time. So it's 45 minutes, all right? Now, that being said, with the 45 minutes, if I do 10 multiple choice questions, you will have 2 short answer questions. If I do 15, okay, then I will do 1 multiple choice. Is that fair? Okay. Now, you know the questions that we've had on the quizzes? They won't even be 2 of those. It would probably be 1 really ridiculous one, just kind of testing some knowledge of previous or whatever, and one that is a little bit more difficult. Otherwise, it'll be just a very slightly more difficult problem. All right. So in terms of the exam, going over everything, just giving you a heads up that you should be able to encapsulate everything on the free response. I don't know how many times I can tell you this. If I do give you user input, okay, do not give me the imports. Do not give me public. Do not give me class. Okay, don't give me any of that. I don't want to see it. I've already told you guys, and now it's recorded. If you give it to me, I'm going to penalize you half a point for not following instructions. Yes, Thanos.
So you don't want us to do scanner, KB?
Scanner's different. Okay. I don't want import java.util.
So do that.
Okay. I don't want the imports. I don't want public class. I don't want the main method. Okay. To start off straight with the scanner, I may even cut you some slack and just say assume user input has already been created. Okay. Because sooner or later, we're not even going to be using user input anymore. Okay. Right now, it's just to test the program. Okay. Now, you need to know if, else's, ternary. Now, remember, I put ternary as a bonus on the quiz. You need to know that. That is part of the knowledge I want you to know. You will need to know how to read switch case. You will not need to know how to write switch case, okay? So you may have some questions that are that involve a switch case. You will not need to write it. You will only need to read it, okay? Now the loops, the for loops and the while loops, you will need to know all the type. You will need to understand that there is a possibility you have a question that will be with nested for loops. For the most part, I will never go past a nested. So I won't put a nested inside of a nested inside of a nested. That just takes too long, okay? Now also, I've also already told you guys this, when you're in a for loop, what's the first thing that you should look at? Dylan, what's the first thing in a for loop or a while loop? What's the first thing that you should figure out?
Could you clarify?
When you're looking at a for loop and you're analyzing a for loop, you're analyzing the for loop, you're analyzing the while loop, what's the first thing that you should be trying to figure out?
Is it how long that the for loop or while loop runs?
Kind of close. It's close. Make it a little bit more concise.
I guess in the for loop, how many iterations it's going, and for the while loop, what conditions it needs to meet to exit?
Just that's it, basically. What does it need to exit? What's the terminating statement? At where does it terminate? You were right. I just wanted it a little bit cleaner. Just look, you should be analyzing boom, boom, boom. Okay, how does this loop terminate? Find the pattern. Okay, because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, on certain AP questions, guess what? Like once you gotta look at it this way. They will give you a loop and they will ask you certain numbers. 9 times out of 10, you can eliminate 2 to 3 of them, and then you will have the answer by only doing 2 iterations. If you go more than 3, something's wrong. Okay, something is slightly off. Okay, but 9 times out of 10, literally, you can sit down and do the work of the loop. And once you get the pattern down, you only need to do it twice. You'll be able to eliminate all the other answers. Does that make sense? All right, so that being said, it is a review day, okay? And we can review anything that you want, all right? So what is on the agenda? Again, heavy for loops, heavy while loops, okay? No do while. I told you guys already, ignore do while. Switch case and if statement. Okay? So, anybody. So here's the thing, if you don't ask questions and you do badly, I'm not gonna feel sad for you.
I don't
we
think
do
you would
for
feel sad
loops?
either way.
What's that?
Can we do for loops?
Okay. What do you want to do for loops?
Like, can you like do a for loop problem? Because I still don't completely get it.
Okay. In terms of, okay, so what we will do is this. Okay, hold on one second. All right. So I am going to, oops, hold on. Darn it. Okay. So this is a test problem that I have used before. Check your email. Because what I'm going to do is you guys can have it up, check your email, and then that way you guys can just have it. AP, this is block B. And let me just toss this on there. Is this the right one? Okay, yes. All right. All right. So, send. Bingo, bingo. All right. Okay. Take a look at it real quick. Analyze it. Take 2 minutes to answer it. Okay. take a look at it. Okay, let's take a look at it. Everybody take a look. Now this, obviously, I'm gonna tell you right now, this one's a little bit easy. This is just more to kind of go over some of the structure of the for loop, okay? All right, okay, so here we go. I have the question up. I'm not going to share the question. That's kind of why I sent it to you guys, so I didn't have to share my whole screen, okay? So write a program that uses a for loop to ask for and receive 5 positive integers, okay? So do we need a scanner first of all? Yes or no? Yes. So the minute I see that, I'm going to say scanner KB equals new scanner system dot in, okay? Now, okay, so I take a look at this. My program uses 5 positive integer values. Determine and display the highest and lowest integers input as well as the average of the 5 integers. See the example below. So right off the bat, okay?
Okay,
Oh,
I found this on the web.
right, okay, I don't know why my Siri popped up. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to need 2 variables, maybe more, but I think only 2 right now. I'm going to need int high, and I'm going to set it equal to 0, and I'm going to need int low, oops, and I'm going to set that equal to 0, okay? All right? So here's the key thing, okay? Now I need to ask the user, okay? I need to ask the user 5 times, but I need to set benchmarks, right? Okay, so what I need to do is I'm going to make my for loop. Int j equals 0. Now, how many times is this telling you to run?
5.
5. So j is less than 5. That's part of deciphering the question, understanding what they want, j plus plus. Now, if I ever give you something like this, you can assume that this is probably only ever going to be worth 1 point, okay? If I ever ask for a method, like a dot length minus 2, something, whatever, if I ever go that, you can assume that it's probably going to be 2 points. 1 for understanding and using the method correctly in the conditional, and another point for having the proper for loop. So always keep that in mind, okay? Now, all right, now, and if you are too far off, I'm not going to give it to you at all, okay? I'm not even going to give you credit for it. You got to be pretty damn close, okay? So for example, if this was the only thing that you messed up on, then, and you had everything right, but let's say it was like length minus 1, okay? Minus 1, or you did length, okay? I wouldn't give you credit for this, but I might give you credit for this because you've been penalized enough. But if this is like way off, not equal to, or something like that, or whatever, not even remotely close, or this was something that was weird or whatever, I'm not giving you credit. So just giving you a heads up, that is how I grade. That is how I grade at the AP, okay? And again, remember, I'm a table leader. So that means I'm one of the top people in charge for grading the AP. Okay, so I'm trying to grade it as close as how we would grade it at the desk. So now that I'm in my loop, what am I going to do? I'm going to ask the user for an integer. Okay, Uma? So I'm going to say sysout, enter integer. Now you have to look out for this. Okay, number, and then I'm going to add j, and then add a colon. And the reason I'm going to add j, I'm actually not going to add j. I'm going to add j plus 1. And I'm going to put that in parentheses. And the reason why, Uma, is because it's basically because for j or whatever, this is my counter variable. I want to use this in terms of substitution. But if you notice on the question, it says number 1, number 2, number 3. So if I were to run this, okay, it would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see that? Okay, bingo, because I have to account for that. Make sure, guys, that you are looking for that. I've had some students that will just go enter integer number, enter integer, or enter integer, and will forget to add the number 1, number 2, that they can't figure that out. Okay. Now, generally, if it was just enter integer, that's half a point for the print statement. If I give any credit at all for that, because you'll notice once we get down the line, I won't even offer credit for print statements because it is a given that you know how to use them. It's almost like being able to say hola in Spanish. Okay. So, but this one is where understanding the incrementation that would be needed along with the concatenation, that would yield a full point.
So you're doing j plus 1 because j equals 0 at the start, right?
Exactly. So, okay,
So couldn't you just make j equal 1 though?
what's that?
Can't you just make j equal 1 as a starting value though? So you don't have
This,
to
I
do
could
plus
also,
1.
you're right. I could do this and I could do less than or equal to.
Oh, okay.
So for example, and that's fine, Uma. So if your brain works like that, that's okay. Just I always get weary of the less than or equal to because sometimes you can also whatever. Now I violated my own rule. Okay, I violated my own rule. What was that rule, Dylan? I'm adding things together. Kind of brain farted, went a little too fast. What am I missing? Alex, what am I missing?
Don't you need to parentheses?
Nope. I need a summation variable. It's something to keep track of the sum because we're adding them together, remember? So I already violated my own rules or whatever, okay? All right, so there we go. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do that and we're gonna say int, what's a good variable name? Ian, give me a good name.
Check. I don't know.
Greek Thunder, give me a better name.
Num.
I already used num. Oh, I didn't use num. Very good. Okay, int num equals kb dot next int. All right, show of hands. How many would you have felt confident getting to at least this part? Okay, good. All right, so now what we have to do is we have to do our if statements, okay? We have to do our if statements, okay? The first thing we want to do is what?
You want to add the number to the high and the low?
No, I don't want to add it to the high and the low, okay?
And check if it's greater or less than the current one.
So yes, so what I can do, exactly. So what I can do is I can just do a quick check. Now there's two ways that we can do this, okay? There's two ways that we can do this. One, so I would do it this way, okay? Normally what I would do is, so this is one way you can do it, but normally take a look at what I'm gonna do. What I would do is I'm gonna copy this. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, and this is normally what I would do. I would ask the first time outside of the loop. And rather than in sum equals 0, okay, then what I would do is I would say this, int num equals kb.next int. I would say int, actually I could say, int num equals sum. I would say int high equals num. Int low equals num. Because with the first number, they're both going to be the high and the low, right? And then I would say sum plus equals num. Then I come down to here. Okay, I've already got num, so I can ignore that. And then rather than 1, so what I can do is I can basically, for the first question, because I know this is going to be number 1, I can get rid of all of this. And then what I can do is I can now start at 2. Now I have my benchmarks. Okay, and this is actually a smart way to do it, okay, because it makes things a little bit less tedious. I've already set my benchmarks. The minute I put my first number in, I've got my high and my low, okay? Sum plus equals num. Then what I can do is I can now do my comparison with num on the second number. If num is greater than or equal to high, what is it going to be? High equals num. Else if num is less than or equal to low, num equals,
Isn't it low equals num?
sorry, low equals num. Okay, all right. And in both cases, I'm adding the sum anyway, so right off the bat, I can just get rid of it. Sum plus equals num. Okay. Now, what I have just done is, how many times is this loop going to run, Lance? How many times is the for loop going to run?
The second, I mean the, okay, 3.
Nope. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Whoopsies. 4.
So let me explain my logic, okay? Because I actually think this is the best way to do this. And I've had many people with this one. So if you want to challenge me, damn right, challenge me. This is what this class is all about. I can see Dylan licking his lips, okay? He's wrong, but I can see him licking his lips. Nothing but love, okay? Now, so int sum equals 0, system print line, int num equals kb.next int, hold on. What the heck is, okay, oh my God. Oh, I gotta take out my Apple Watch. For some reason, it's like hitting my wrist and it's activating Siri. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so what I've done is I've had my sum as 0. I ask the user for the first number outside of the loop, because no matter what the first number is, it's going to be the high and the low. So I ask them here for the number. I instantly set my high to num, my low to num, and I add this to the sum. Then I start my loop. My loop will start at 2. I could do 0 to 5. I could do 0 to 4. 0 is less than 4. Either way works. Print an integer to j. Sum equals kb.next. And so I'm basically doing everything here, but this time I concatenate it. Okay. Then I add the sum. Then I do my benchmarks. If num is greater than or equal to high, high equals num. Else, if num is less than or equal to low, low equals num. Okay. If it's neither of those, nothing happens. It just skips it. It's not going to override anything. Okay. That's why you can't use an else. You have to use an else if. Okay. So now that is the end of my for loop. Then what I do is where is it? So what I do is I now do this. This out. Oops, come on. Oh, I'm outside of here. Sorry about that. This out. Lowest number plus, and I'm going to put low. Sys out highest number plus high. And then the average. Sys out. Now here's the other thing also. Do I need a variable for the average, really? I've told you it's 5. You know you're only getting 5. So what all you have to do is average value. And then what I do is the key thing I want to do is this. I want to add a double cast. Okay. Double. And I'm going to do sum divided by 5. Okay. So what that does is it instantly makes this a double. Now, you see how the question says 20.8? Okay, the question says 20.8. If you get a longer number, don't worry about it, okay? So enter integer 1. We're going to say 5, 17, 34, 19, and 29. Okay, the lowest number was 5. The highest number was 34, and the average value was 22.8. It's odd that it came out to that, okay? But that is what printed out. Now I can always change this to print if I want to. Keep it copacetic. So 5, 17, 34, 19, 29, 5, 34, and 20.8. Okay. Again, the key thing now, if you put this in a variable, this is where the AP thinking has to come in. This has to do PEMDAS. So by division, it's going to do this first. So you don't have to worry about putting all of this in a set of parentheses. Okay. If you do, will you be marked off? No, that's almost like you guys are just like hedging your bets, I guess is the best way to say it. You're just being a little bit overprotective. But do you need to do that? No. Okay. So Uma, it's a little bit of a long example. This is actually a good one because the key thing is setting that benchmark high to low. Now, could I do this in the for loop? I could do it in the for loop. Which way is actually more efficient?
In the for loop.
Actually, it's this way. I've timed this before, down to the thousandth of milliseconds. Okay. So, okay, now, does anybody have any questions regarding this? Now, we could, again, you can do all of this in the for loop, but the ease of being able to just do it one time and just knowing that you do it again here, it just makes it easier because a lot of times what people have trouble with is figuring out the if-else ifs. If you already create the benchmarks, look at how easy it is. Some people get trouble with the logic of doing it. So, okay, well, the first one, if this, and then making sure that J is equal to 1, then I do this, and then I go, okay, else if this and J is not equal to 1, it simplifies it. Okay? So Uma, I know, supremely long example, my bad, but also a very, very, very good example. And the good thing is this is recorded, so you will have this that you can take a look at, okay? Now, anybody who wants, now again, I don't want copy and paste, but anybody who actually, and this is people for recording, send me an email of how they did this with everything in the for loop. I will give you half a point extra credit on your exam, or not extra, but as a bonus. But the downside is you got to do the work. So it's not like you're getting this for free and you're only getting half a point. Okay.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Of course, Greek Thunder wakes up. Dylan's eyes just, he looked like a puppy that just got pet.
I already wrote it. I'm just going to email it to you now.
Wow. All right. Okay. I like students who admit they don't pay attention in class. Thank you, Dylan. So, all right. And Alex, of course, just laughs at everything. All right. So I will give you half a point if you can convert this into this or incorporate it into just a for loop.
So you want us to do that, except instead of it being outside, you want us to do it inside?
Now, believe it or not, my way is actually the more efficient way. Okay. But if you can convert it, okay, then let's see. Because the cool thing is this, I will put this up like as I'm making my PowerPoint. So that guys, again, the PowerPoint, I want to let you know, the PowerPoint is coming. It will still be useful in other exams. I'm gonna try to knock it out tonight. I've got a few hours, okay? So I'm gonna try to knock it out. It's tough to literally just sit here and program when literally the last thing I wanna do is sit here and program, okay? Oh, what a coincidence, Dylan did it. That's funny, I thought I said do it after class. Oh.
I could also send it to you after class. If
That's
more
too
convenient.
late. You just sacrificed your point. Oh, don't worry, Dylan. I'll take a look at it. Okay, I'm not that much of a dick. I'm a dick, but not that much. All right. So I'm somewhat nice. All right. So all right. That being said, okay, I gave you the guys that question. Anybody else? And again, more than likely, if I ask for user input, I don't want any of this. If you do, now again, let me repeat this again, especially for my international students that are watching. You give me this, I'm going to give you an instant half-point penalty for not following instructions. Don't give me anything I don't ask for. especially Getty Woo. All right. Oh, shoot, forgot. Review session, okay? Mark it on your calendars, okay? I am not going to be able to do a Monday night review session. I will do a Sunday night review session, okay? You have class Monday. That is already going above and beyond, right? So you won't have class tomorrow, but I will do a review session Sunday night. I'm probably going to do it at about 7:30 again. Okay, from that, I'll probably be recovered from getting back from the club at that time. All right. So Alex is like, yeah, the club. Yup, me too. Me too. Chuck E. Cheese. It's going to be off the hook. They have a live band. They're so good. You guys see? I'm eating me British candy, a curly whirly. Have you guys not had a curly whirly before?
I don't think that's a British accent.
Yeah, it sounds like Irish.
That's not. My girlfriend's Irish. It's not Irish. She always makes fun of me.
Scottish then, it's one of
It's a
them.
Scottish
Sounds like
accent.
Shrek.
It's a Scottish accent. What about second breakfast? It's afternoon supper, 11sies.
Can you yell freedom?
No, I actually can't. It sounds terrible.
We still want to hear it though.
No, it's awful. Maybe another
It doesn't matter.
We'll give you an extra credit point if you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may take our line. All right. Fun class, guys. Get out of here. I will see you guys on. So I'm not going to see you guys tomorrow. But like I said, as usual, review sessions are optional. Okay. Ask questions. Again, what we did. So what Uma just asked was a question regarding the for loop. What did I reviewed the for loop. I did not reteach it. Okay. So all I did was show how the for loop was used. I'm not going to reteach. I will show examples. Understood? Now, if you're confused about, okay, why do we use dot length -2? Different. That is a process and that's a lack of understanding. But I'm not going to reteach conditional steps, except you should already understand what the steps are. If I tell you which part is the step expression, you should know. Okay? And while loops, again, guys, I can't make it any clearer. Again, listen to this rule. Any for loop can be written as a while loop. Not every while loop can be written as a for loop. Okay? Preference, again, it's your preference and stuff like that. The test, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've already said it numerous times. It's difficult. Okay? The multiple choice is hard. But it's, again, right off the bat, it's just like the AP. I'm telling you right now also, from 2012 and 2016, you don't have access to them. So you can try to find it. You're not going to. Okay? I'm going to be giving you actual AP questions. We have learned enough now where I can actually give you an AP question. All right? So that being said, those are the ones. So for example, you'll know because it's going to be a screenshot from my computer. So if you see something that looks really crappy, fauntily worded, that's where you need to impress me. But I also think you're going to be like, oh, wait, this really isn't too bad. Okay, I think I got this. Analyze the execution statement first, or the exiting statement first, then analyze the answers, and then go to the problem. Understood? Your goal in terms of timing, try to spend no more than 2 minutes on each question. Even if you have your timer here and you go set a timer for 2 minutes and then you hit repeat and move on, do that. Okay? I need you guys to start getting into the habit of how to take this test. Half of succeeding on this test is learning how to approach it. All right, guys, have a great day. I won't see you. Don't cry if you don't see this. I know Alan gets a little sad on 3-day weekends without me. So don't cry, Gary. It's going to be okay. I'll see you soon. Don't cry, Gary. Don't cry.